Today, I'm going to share the fertility marketing system with you. I'm going to tell you exactly how it works, whether you work with us or whether you do it on your own. It always works in this order. I'm going to tell you why I built it. I'm going to give you step by step the way that it works because I largely learned from you how to do it in order to have the most replicable success, in order to not just be giving people things that they don't need. And that was followed more from a fertility clinic model than an advertising agency model. But the reason for it is because you can see it's getting pretty binary. There's the fertility center that all the patients want to go to, or the pharmacy that all the staff want to work for, the PGT testing, lab manufacturing companies that everyone wants to work for. And then there's the other one. So large corporations, private equity firms, they've consolidated the field. Current generation of fertility doctors motivated very differently than those of the preceding generation. Patients today expect more than they ever did before. And then some fertility businesses are benefiting hugely from this. And then there's another side of the chasm of those that are getting squeezed at every turn, getting squeezed by middlemen, losing profit, losing patients, losing staff, just making it difficult on every part of their modus operandi. So these facts aren't either good or bad in and of themselves, but the contrast between winners and losers is becoming even more stark. I noticed that from even the 7 years that I've been in the field. It's even more stark than it was in 2014. A curious thing to me is how it seems to happen so quickly. Like you can be doing so well, and then all of a sudden it's like, well, we lost a couple staff and we are really having a hard time getting them back. Or this doctor retired. We thought this other one was going to become a partner, and they went in a completely different direction. Most people are slammed right now, but remember a year ago when we were all shutting down, we didn't know what was going to happen with the economy, and we don't know what's going to happen with the economy a year or two from now. So this is getting even more stark, and that's why we developed a system to help you come out of these changes without having to give up even one measly percentage point of equity in your business. You can if your goal is to sell later, but we don't take any equity. We can't do this with waving a magic wand. I'm not making any promises. I'm just sharing the methodology with you. On the other side of the fertility marketing system, this is what awaits you. It's a tribe of couples and individuals that tell everyone in their region that doctor is the reason we have our children. It's that community that recognizes your center and your physicians, not just another one of many. You're that place. You're in the center of the hub. You get IVF patients that are more ready to convert and move on to treatment. You have a more profitable practice or business that sells for hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions more than it would have. You have new patients that let you lead and ask the right questions as opposed to the other way around. You have engaged staff that feel rewarded. And you've got associate docs that leverage your abundance as opposed to being a drain, and they return their investment within 6 months. That's what happens when people go through the system and apply it correctly. Centers that don't have the advantage of the fertility marketing system, they're probably doing fine right now, but almost certainly one of these descriptors is true. They're losing recruiting power of patients and staff to big networks. They turn patients off because they're too busy. They burn staff out because of patient expectations. They underserve patients because they're not converting as many to treatment as those who really do need treatment. They're draining profit. They're losing a piece of their market to every vendor who wants one. And then they lose hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars when they sell, because private equity groups are viewing them as a distressed asset. Like, oh, you're not growing. You're not the place anymore. Sure, we'll we'll buy it, and you may even be happy with it, but it's a lower multiple, losing on that multiple. And then they're also breaking even or losing money on associate docs when they go elsewhere after 2 or 3 years. The fertility marketing system is called such because the fertility sales, marketing, business development, patient satisfaction system, that doesn't roll off the tongue. So I shorten it to marketing, and I do that a little begrudgingly because in many ways, as you reference in our articles and podcasts about the 4 phases of the fertility patient marketing journey, it isn't just the traditional idea of marketing of just getting people in the door. It's every step of the way, linking sales and marketing, which in our field is conversion to treatment and collection, by solving business challenges, generating more profit in ways that make the experience better for staff and patients. And we'll talk about how that plays out, because it's very similar to the way you treat new patients. If someone comes to you and they says, I want this dosage of Gonal-F. I want to do this many cycles of IUI. I want to transfer this many embryos. It's it's like that's not how I can help you. Like, you come to me if you want a baby, you tell me how many babies you want. We do a diagnosis, we look at your prognosis, we do a treatment plan. And so, as opposed to just approaching business development or marketing from, I want what everybody else has. I want to do this because I saw Griffin speak about it. I want to do this because someone else told me it was a good idea, or I just think it's a good idea. Follows the same steps that you do when you receive new patients to make sure that they're successful. That's diagnosis and prognosis at number one. Number two is treatment plan. Number three is initial application of treatment. Number four is ongoing application of treatment, if it's even necessary. Diagnosis and prognosis, treatment plan, initial application of treatment, ongoing application of treatment. And for us, we have names for each of those, and I'm going to run that with you of how we do it. So we start with the diagnosis, because that's what's going to determine if everything else makes sense to do and to what extent. Our diagnosis is called the goal and competitive diagnostic, because this is what you're going to set up for success before you do anything else. On the clinic side, we don't usually use the word sales, but that's what getting paid for treatment is. Marketing is only an investment if it fluidly connects to sales and solves a business goal. So when people ask what's the expense or how much does it cost, they're viewing as an expense as opposed to, this is what I need it to do. This is how much it needs to generate for me. So by doing your goals first, aligning that with your partners, making sure that one, you're even committed to that is critical. And then just assessing where you're at in the marketplace at a high level and assessing, okay, of the stuff that we're doing right now, where can we tell off the bat that we're weak on 2 or 3 of these things, that even if we just had an extra eye right here, they could help us with 2 or 3 things off the bat that would make us more profitable. So that's the goal and competitive diagnostic for us. You should be doing that no matter what. It will help you if you're the owner of a fertility center or the chief executive of a fertility business who's thinking of hiring a marketing person, a PL, which is a physician liaison, or a marketing agency. If you're considering a new brand or a brand refresh, if you're prioritizing business development initiatives, if you're forecasting, if you're reviewing or revising the results of your current marketing strategy, or if you're planning one, if you're aligning your leadership and your staff, and if you're contemplating the sale of equity in your business. If you're doing any of these things, the goal diagnostic will help you. Fertility companies that don't do this, they're getting in long, drawn out commitments. They're not improving patient relations, and they're just wasting money because it's good money after bad. It's not going towards a business goal. That's why there's no commitment whatsoever to move from one phase of the next with Fertility Bridge. You get some of the insight and expertise, the same which you listen to our podcast, read our books, follow our articles for, except this time it's applied to your business with your partners in a private consult. It's for many companies, the goal diagnostic it's enough. It's all they need to get headed in the right direction to meet their business goals. 50% of the people that we do goal diagnostics with don't do anything else with us. And I like that, because the only thing that I'm really selling is the goal diagnostic. I do sell that because it's $600. It's so easy to return the value. It's so eye-opening for people. And I know that I can return the value on that. In order to make bigger promises or have more forecasting or add more strategic value, I need to get under the hood and see things. So I can't do that off the bat, but I know that I can deliver on these 5 things for the goal diagnostic, and people love it. And I like that. It's a snapshot of how your marketing stacks up against your biggest competitors. It's 2 marketing pillars that you need to account for immediately and what's behind them. That's what I mean by the 1 or 2 areas that is going to be the biggest for you. I can tell that just from the goal diagnostic. It's a monetized goal from which to build your fertility marketing system. This is the dollar amount that you're sending your people after, not saying, hey, do this and see what comes back. No, we're going after $500,000 in new profit, 1.5 million in new profit, 5 million in new profit, whatever it might be. That's what it's being judged against. An annualized business development budget, and then one big biz dev idea to grow your practice that you will leave inspired with and have some direction, whether you do the next phase of strategy with us or not. There's info about how to get started on this on the fertility marketing system page and the goal diagnostic page on fertilitybridge.com. And it's a little bit different for businesses that are in the fertility field that aren't clinics. So there's a little bit of detail for you all on the page as well. So after the diagnosis, once you say, we're going after a $600,000 new profit goal or $350,000 or whatever it is, and this is what it looks like, then you can build the plan of this is how we get here. So the second part is the treatment plan. For us, that's called the fertility marketing blueprint. And for us, how we help build it, it's the cardinal service offering of Fertility Bridge. The blueprint is what Fertility Bridge does. We're a consultancy first and we're an agency second. We do execute on all of the things that we detail in strategies. We may make some recommendations of other things that we don't help with, but anything that we're detailing in a strategy, we do it ourselves. Video, baby reunions, Google ads, website, organic social, paid social, photo, Google listings, SEO, CRMs, all of these things are done as execution that comes after strategy. And I'll talk about that when we get to execution. But this is what people are coming to us for because we know what to do. We know how much to spend on. We know where to run it. We know what the creative needs to be. We know exactly what part of the patient journey people are dropping off on. And if you fix that first, you're going to have the biggest return the most quickly. So people are coming to us for the strategy as opposed to deliverables. The deliverables of the fertility marketing blueprint are findings and benchmarks for every key performance indicator that maps to the business goal. It's a complete business development strategy for fertility centers of a certain size, and then for others, it is a very specific marketing strategy. And third, it's a plan to connect sales and marketing within your organization so that you're always returning the investment. So depending on the size of your group and the scope of your needs, the blueprint might be a complete business development plan. That's usually the case for centers with 10 docs and 2 labs or fewer. Or it may be one particular patient journey or one phase of the fertility patient marketing journey, which is sometimes the case for multi-lab 10+ doctor groups. Should fertility companies get a treatment plan, a business development strategy with little diagnosis and customization? I think that's a really good question. I imagine that earlier on in your careers that you did a lot more tests, you took longer to diagnose before you made your treatment plan. And it could be that that's still just the case for us of our expertise. We're the only firm that subspecializes in fertility. And it could be the case that we're just still getting more efficient at that and that we needed to be effective first. Right now, we have something that's 100% effective every time. Could it be more efficient? I think it probably could be. But the other thing is that fertility centers are so different in their workflows. They're so unique, and they also often just need so much help bringing it down to that level that the deeper diagnosis and the individualization of the plan help them realistically execute what they need to do. So I do see us standardizing some more. We're seeing 6 to 8 major problems from 6 to 8 major profiles. So I do see us standardizing strategy a bit more. So there's a less diagnosis, and then the customization is really just the creative. But even then, there still probably will be diagnosis and customization, because that further auditing, that further individualization guarantee that the blueprint is immediately relevant. It's not general advice. Which is what you can get on the podcast and from our work and stuff. It is only what you need to do and how to do it. And it's not a duplication of anything that centers and businesses are currently doing, because that's just something that people ask about or worried about a lot. Well, how do I know this is going to be something that we're not already doing? Because it's designed to be what you're not already doing. That's why. And so in short, the blueprint is a plan of concise recommendations about exactly what your fertility business needs to do in your situation and how to do it. If all you want is deliverables, there are thousands, hundreds of thousands of people who will happily sell them to you. That's not us. If you want to solve critical business challenges, earn hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions of dollars more in profit, make life measurably better for your employees and patients, that all requires time, brains, effort, experience, investment. And if you would like our time, brains, effort, experience, investment, because we're the only firm that subspecializes in fertility, then those details are also on the fertility marketing system page, and they're on the fertility marketing blueprint page as well. Okay, so you've diagnosed the challenge. You have a very specific business goal that you are going to solve, that is going to make you a lot of money, that is going to make life better for your patients and staff. You've built the plan to do that because you've done even more diagnosis, and the plan tells you exactly what to do and how to do it. And now it's time to execute this. So we've done diagnosis, treatment plan. Now we're on to application of treatment, which for us comes in a couple different ways. It can be us executing, us advising, us overseeing, or us training your team. So sometimes people want to skip right to this step. And I say, if you really are able to skip to this step, then you don't need us. There's hundreds of thousands of time and materials agencies, freelancers. If you really know exactly what you want to do, you can have anybody do it. We help with the strategy that impacts the business. It would be like having a nurse practitioner or a generalist come up with your treatment plan and then going to the REI to execute it. It just wouldn't be very useful. So I have a table on the site. We got a table for you to be able to see, to give you an idea of the things that we do, because people just want to see what does it look like, all of the things that we do. But I put it into 2 columns. The first is the strategy column. The second is the execution column. And the only reason I even put the execution column there is just so that you get a better idea of how we bring some of these things to life. But if what you want, if you're coming for the second, the execution, that either means you've already done the diagnosis and the strategy, and then so if you don't want us to check that, then just go ahead and do it, or you're skipping steps 1 and 2. And I can't let my firm enter into skipping steps 1 and 2 because it's not the guarantee for success. So we break it up. You could take a look in this on the fertility marketing system page. Strategy talks about the big business challenges that we help with: increasing IVF conversion, maximizing new physician office capacity, augmenting fertility preservation, increasing particular segments of the LGBTQ plus population and other demographics. Those are the business challenges that we help with. Now you've got your treatment plan. If it was us that did it in the form of the fertility marketing blueprint, then it tells you exactly what you need to do and exactly how you need to do it. And you have a few different options if it was us that did it for you. At this point, you can implement it yourself, or you can hire another vendor to do it for you. There's no commitment to having Fertility Bridge execute the plan. Sometimes that's all people need. The second step is that you can hire us to execute it for you. And the third is kind of the Home Depot option. You can do it, we can help. That's where we oversee, train, or advise your teams execution. So the first plan is you execute the plan. The blueprint is a set of concise recommendations. It's not written in a way that an office manager who's got a million things on his or her plate and no marketing experience can execute, but it is written that someone with marketing experience, if you have marketers that know what they're doing, the plan is written so that they can execute it, whether those people are in-house that already work for you or you want to use a vendor. Second option is that we execute it for you. By this point, we've got access to almost everything we might need, your Google Analytics, Facebook ads, website, call source tracking. So we move right into execution if that's what you want us to do. And it takes us no less than 3, no more than 9 months to implement that. It's important to note that for some of the marketing pillars, especially those in the later phases of the fertility patient marketing journey, like post-consult follow-up, for example, there is no option 2 available because they directly involve your team. So it's either 1 or 3. Option 3 for your application of treatment is that we help you or your current vendors. 1 is advisory. Your team has access to our senior digital strategist, creative manager, creative team, our operational marketing strategist, those teams depending on the strategy. Oversight is the other option. We put your team in our project management system. We hold them to deadlines. And then finally, training. We have formal training modules in paid media for fertility centers, social media for fertility centers, physician liaison outreach, welcome sequence, call center concierge service, post-consult follow-up, and cancellation rate reduction. You've applied your treatment. It's been successful. How do you know if 1 application of treatment is sufficient or if you're going to need ongoing treatment? So for some clients, it makes sense to execute their plan as 1 application of treatment. Sometimes some clients have such big goals or such big challenges that it makes sense to start off at an annual and go right into it. But it can be done in a project, and a couple of different things happen. Really, 1 of 2 things happen. The first is that you zoom past your starting point, but you're not yet at your goal, either because it's just a really high goal and it takes longer, or you hit your operational capacity first. So you're way past your starting point, but you're at some sort of operational capacity. And then we either work on the next part of the plan to help you remove some of those obstacles and continue toward the goal. You set a new goal like fertility preservation segments, something that isn't related to that capacity, or you're satisfied with that. You realize, oh, we're good here and we don't need to keep engaging. The second path is that you hit your goal in the first application and you either set a new one and we work toward that, or you're satisfied because you hit your goal and we don't need to keep engaging. I don't care if you never do any business with Fertility Bridge, the fertility marketing system works. It works because it came from you. Diagnosis, treatment plan, initial application of treatment, ongoing application of treatment if necessary. Marketing, business development are so often just jumping in to the ongoing application of treatment, some sort of commitment for the sake of deliverables without the other 3. I promise that in those 3, you will have your staff committed to one place, aligned to a goal with your partners. It has a plan. It has metrics for being completed. And you double down when it's working. And when you hit your goal or capacity, you've got the next things to work on. It always works in that order. We did it because I love when my clients invite me into their homes, tell me that we changed their business, introduce me to their kids. And that is something that I just can't settle for. I can't settle for anything less than that. Next time, we're going to talk about the frequently asked questions that I get. But this is not just if you're working for Fertility Bridge. If you work in this order, you will be successful. And if you'd like our help doing it, our initial goal diagnostic is $600. It's 2 meetings and there's no commitment. And if you'd like our help, that's an easy way to get started. So hopefully this helps frame you for your planning for the next coming years. Whether the economy takes a total nosedive after the government funding money runs out, after the pandemic is released, whether there's pent-up demand or not, if you follow this, it will help you. And so thanks for tuning in, and look forward to sharing the frequently asked questions with you next week.